All right, let's get started on the charts here. Real quick though, look at gold here, guys and gals. Gold 1 hour chart. This is usually reserved for members. Now look at these cycles. These are 1 hour chart cycles, right? Each of these candlesticks represent an hour. So look at this cycle down here. This one down here. Whoop. Here. Right? A little pullback right there. Not a big one, but a little one. And then down here. And guess where we're headed? 2 o'clock this morning, Texas time over here. Or approximately that. We have a cycle low. This is what members get to see. Okay, they get this kind of chart. They get it for the S&P 500 as well. Okay, so think about that at the end of the video when I talk about becoming a member. Okay, let's go over to the S&P 500 since we just mentioned it. And daily chart. Here we go. Chop, chop, choppity chop. I said yesterday that I thought when I sent out last night's email to the members, because yes, I sent out a nightly email to the members and I said, today was going to be a down day. Well, there you go. Barely, basically a flat day. Opened up at 60.12, closed at 60.18. So it was slightly up. So what am I observing here? A lot of sideways chop. The market is super bullish. You know, this is going to have to get some momentum, the SMI, to see if this is going to start coming down, going towards December 12th. I just don't see it at the moment. It could begin to develop as this rolls over more and maybe we see a little bit of a pullback here. I just don't think it's going to be a deep one. Right now, it's translating into strictly sideways action. And that, just for these 4 or 5 days in here, so far, this is extremely bullish to see this. Right? When you have the SMI beginning to roll over like this, cycle low was supposed to be on the 13th, today is the 14th. That's bullish. That almost always suggests a little pullback and then bounce higher. Okay, so at the moment, it could change, but at the moment, this is very bullish. Somebody's dinging me on my phone. Who's doing what? Leave me alone in the middle of the video. So that's that. That's my take on that. There's December 10th. Approximately a pullback. Yeah, it could happen here as this begins to fade. Okay, we're gonna have to see how deep this goes. It could be deep. It could be. Sometimes you get these big, huge pullbacks in the month of December. Okay, it's happened in the past. I think the last time I remember it was 2018. We had a big, huge pullback, a massive decline. But with Donald Trump being president, and the world has a positive perspective on his presidency and his policies. You know, the left may not like him, and that's fine. That's your choice. But the world likes him, and the stock market shows it. Does that mean it's always going to be like this? No. Obviously, there's going to be down times. But for the moment, the world is happy to see Donald Trump as president. All right, let's go look at trade of the day. What is happening here? Do we have a trade of the day? We'll look at the 5-minute, the 15-minute, 1 hour if necessary. We'll start with the 5-minute chart. Where is there a trade that stands out for this entire day? Right about there is the entire 24-hour period. It ends right here. I'm doing this video a little bit late today, so everything over here is already for tomorrow's. This is the futures for tomorrow. Okay, but from here to here is today. Where do I see a trade? Well, obviously something stands out here at about 7:45. We're going to go look at the 15-minute chart, and we'll come back to this chart if we have to. Okay, looks like the 15-minute chart showed the same thing, right? This big old candlestick. But there's a really awesome trade on this chart. We're going to come back to this one too. Look at the 1 hour. Okay. So the 15-minute chart is got the trade, and it's right here. Okay. Now you could have traded this one. It's okay to have traded that one. That one's also a decent trade. It got you whatever this was, about 02 down to maybe 96, about 6 points, 5 or 6 points. That's not a bad trade right there. You could take that short right there. Okay. That is a really nice trade. And the reason why I say that is because when this Get Us Plus indicator came up, plum candlesticks right here, we're about right here. X marks the spot approximately on the SMI. It's on its way down. You can clearly see it's on its way down. The momentum was beginning to fade and cross over, and it was very flat here, right? It came from above and it went down a little bit. Perfect time to get in on a trade. So you got 5 or 6 points right there. We'll just make it 5, okay? We'll be conservative. So that's your first trade. If you wanted to trade that one was in the morning, pre-market, 4:30 a.m. I know everybody's sleeping, but guess what? That is a valid trade right there. Okay, let's look at this next one. This one is like primo. This happened at 5:45 in the morning. This candlestick over here, the big one, 7:30. Pre-market opens up at 7:30 here in the U.S., but this is whatever, call it pre-market. Doesn't matter. These are futures. You can trade them anytime you want, 23 hours a day. That's a great trade. SMI begins to roll over, or roll up, I should say, right there, right? Begins to roll up. Guess what? The MACD here is flat, right? It's pretty flat. It's just tracking along pretty much around that zero line. You can just trust the SMI, get in the trade. Oh my goodness. Within an hour and a half, I'm sorry, about within 2 hours about right here, this trade went from conservatively 6,000 all the way to 60.25. 25 points. Yeah, hello. That's $1,250. Let's just do this together. 25 and 5 makes 30. Divide by 2. We know what that number is, right? We get 15. Add 2 zeros. There it is. $1,500 day on the 15-minute chart for the S&P 500 futures. $1,500 day. That's an ugly looking 1,500, but that's what that's supposed to say. $1,500 day. All right. Now, I had someone recently say, if I were to trade every one of these Get Us Plus indicators, I would lose a bunch of money. That's right. Don't trade every single one of them. You got to pick the premium ones. Okay, I've talked about it so many times in these videos. All right, so many times. Picking the best ones. Would I trade this big old plum candlestick, Get Us Plus indicator, would I trade it short? I'd be reluctant, because look where the momentum is. It's positive. You got positive momentum, and sure enough, it doesn't come to the bottom, it takes off. I'd be a little cautious about trading that short, even though the SMI is rolling over. So there's better trades, is what I'm trying to say. These trades, this one and this one, were both really good trades because the MACD was flat. So you could trust it almost exclusively what the SMI was doing. Once the MACD goes positive in this case, then you really want to be looking for long opportunities. If it was short, if it was negative, like down in here, you'd be looking for opportunities to roll over and take advantage of it short. That's what it comes down to, right? And as this, in this case, way back over here, last night around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock Central Time here in Texas, sure enough, the short side trade would have worked. Look at this. It would have worked because momentum was negative. I hope that makes sense to everybody. You got to look at the 5-minute to 15-minute and 1-hour charts. Pick out the best action. You're looking for the best setups on those charts. Okay, so you have to look across multiple time frames, figure out which one's going to give you the best trade, and take it. There's your trade of the day right there. 2 big trades, $1,500. Okay, let's move on to the rest of the other products. Daily chart. We're going to go over to the Dow Jones Transportation and bang through the products here. Here we go. A sideways day. Sideways. This looks like it wants to come down, but this is just tracking sideways, just like we saw in the daily S&P 500, just tracking sideways. That's bullish. Russell 2000. Daily chart. Looks almost the same, doesn't it? This one's pulling back a little bit more. This one is pulling back a little bit more. Let me see if I get the eraser to work here. Yeah, this one's pulling back just a little bit, but it's not enough, right? This is not enough to pull back yet. But the Russell does look a little bit weak here, so we'll keep an eye on it. It could come down here, right? It could come down to this December 9th cycle low. We'll keep an eye on it. Right now, this still looks bullish to me. Okay, NASDAQ. Absolutely tracking sideways. Very bullish. Again, everything is up here trying to roll over. We'll keep an eye on this. It could roll over, begin to lose price as this rolls over. But right now, this is still, 4 days of tracking sideways. That's very bullish. Very, very bullish activity. SPX. Same thing. Elevated SMI wants to do that. This is positive momentum though. Fighting against that just ends up being a sideways deal. We'll have to see how this turns out. That's 2 hours. Let me go over to the daily. Yep, November 14th is tomorrow. I don't see any cycle lows happening tomorrow, guys. Obviously, this is just tracking sideways. Everything looks bullish on the indices, except for the Russell 2000. A little bit shaky. Let's check out the Nike 225. Let's see what's happening there. Same thing. Same thing. I got to respond to a text and say something like, okay. Okay. Yeah, Nike 225 just tracking sideways, just like everything else. A little bit weaker here though, right? A little bit weaker as far as the SMI. Momentum is slightly bullish, but man, it's just showing up as tracking sideways. Just doing that. Okay, no cycle low there whatsoever to speak of on November 11th. Came and went. All right, and we may have to reevaluate these cycles on this product here in the near future, but for now, we'll leave it right there. Check out the Japanese yen. Japanese yen. Look at this, getting clobbered. I said it the other day. I think I even said it yesterday. The Japanese yen was good for a short. Today, sure enough, it was down. There you go, another down day. That's this day right there. That one. Let me make it nice and big. Nice and big. Okay, we're talking about, because remember, the new day already started. We're talking about this one right there. Right? Nice. If you shorted the yen today, you made money. I said yesterday, it looked like the Japanese yen, in my opinion, because I don't give financial advice, but my opinion was a short side trade looked good, and sure enough, it paid good today. Nice. Okay, euro dollar. Another huge down day. And I said yesterday that I thought the Japanese yen was a little bit better positioned to make money, but as it turned out, the euro dollar was also a down day, a big down day. I still like the Japanese yen for another day short, maybe. Another day short on the Japanese yen. Here, I wouldn't touch it. Looks a little bit risky. British pound, also a pretty significant down day. Man, these are all getting clobbered. You know what I would do with these? If this momentum stays negative, all these currencies bounce, it does this. As soon as it rolls over like that, short it again. Long as momentum's negative. Okay, so that's going to probably come up in the near future. Probably going to be in the near future. There's a cycle low to actually happen, I guess, tomorrow technically. So this may bounce, and then we'll watch the momentum. If the momentum goes positive, that changes everything, right? But if it stays negative, then you're going to be looking for opportunities to short it coming off of something like that. Even if it gets up here, if it rolls over and this is negative territory still, oh yeah, short it, but not yet. Okay, let's look at the dollar. We know it's probably going to the moon. Dollar's at 106.5, 0.6. Man, the dollar's on fire. Absolutely on fire. Let's look at this. I don't know what these cycles are. Let's get these cycles out of here. This is garbage. That might be the monthly or something. I don't know what those are. But this dollar is on fire. Look at this thing. I'm not a big fan of these cycles, and so let's just remove them. We'll use the other currencies like the euro dollar to do cycles. But for now, this thing's on fire. A little bit elevated here. A little bit elevated. Could pull back here soon. I guess I could try to draw a cycle for those that want to know. Yeah, this is okay. It kind of falls apart a few cycles back. About right there is, you could try to squeeze it one more. Yeah, this is pretty good. It's not great, but it's good. Okay, yeah, this is okay. These cycles are pretty close to being, I don't think they can get much better than this, and I'll tell you why. What do we got here? Down a little bit early, but that's a good cycle low. Right here it is right there for this one. This one, happened over here. It tried to do it again right there. I would say it's not great. This one's perfect around the button right here. Boom. This one down in here looks really good. This one right here, perfect. Okay, so guess what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 5 out of 6 cycles look pretty doggone sharp. We like that. So if you want to know what the cycle low is, It's December 19th. What do you know? Another just middle of December. That's kind of the third week of December. We can put it in there. That's fine. We can put it in there. December 19th is the cycle low for the dollar on the daily chart, okay? So let me go ahead and spruce this up and make it look nice and pretty. Slap some perfume on that pig. All right. And we'll do top. Bam. There you go. December 19th. That is the next cycle low for the dollar. Make a note of it. Stick a post-it on your forehead. Let's go over to, we're going to look at gold. Gold. November 17th, 3 days away. Gold is getting slammed all the way down to 25.71. I think gold, my goodness, could come all the way down here. 23.12. You know, we need to look at the weekly. And why is gold pulling back? Because the world believes Donald Trump's policies are going to be good for the United States and good for its economy. And thus the rest of the world will probably benefit from a strong America. That's the truth, guys and gals. I forecasted this. You can go back, watch my videos from about 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, whatever. I said if Donald Trump wins, gold and silver will probably pull back. Okay? Because people are going to be less inclined to hedge against inflation because they're going to believe that he's going to reduce the size of the government and so on and so forth and put measures in place to boost the economy, right? We're going to see probably gasoline back down to $2 or less. Crude oil is going to get slapped down like a puppy dog, like a scolded cat, because he's going to produce oil domestically USA. Okay? I'm telling you, watch out for the lithium that we're going to be producing here in the United States. Tons and tons of lithium going to come out of the U.S. So the U.S. is set. It's in a great position to do well. And because of that, people are less inclined to buy gold as a hedge. All right? So it looks like to me, guys and gals, because this is breaking kind of, there's a different dynamic because of politics, right? Because of the ideology that's in D.C. right now is a conservative ideology. That has broke the back of gold a little bit here, okay? There's no two ways of getting around. That's exactly what happened. Because this is not within a very typical pattern. This is breaking early, right? Normally it'd be breaking over here. But it's breaking early. All right, so where, this cycle might even change. Like now the whole cycle could easily change because of there's a different dynamic going on. But anyway, February 9th. Okay, so if you want to know, let me activate this. We'll move it over here. I can't say for sure that this cycle is actually still valid, but we're going to put it on there for now. I think the cycle has a good chance of changing. February 9th. All right. So that's it for now. We'll change this cycle as time goes on if necessary. I think it will be necessary to change this cycle behavior probably. But look, the reason I'm looking at the weekly, look at this down here, 2000. Just as early as February. That's how much gold had spiked. Why? Because the world honestly believed that if Kamala got into the White House, if Joe Biden got reelected before they kicked him out, right? Before their own Democrats chewed up Joe Biden and spit him out and put Kamala T in there, and then of course she failed miserably and got run over by a Mack truck called Donald Trump. Okay. This thing literally went up nearly 800 points during that time, just since last February. It's not even been a year. I mean, this February, just past February. So guess what? I think gold is going to come all the way back down, potentially to 2,000, 2,200. Okay, the first stop is right in this area right here. You can see it. It's like 2350. Just put that on your little note somewhere. Right in this area. You can see it, right? It sticks out like a sore thumb. This is definitely going to be a resistance point right in here. Just generally speaking, I'm not going to get too specific here. Just call it 2350. That's your first resistance. Okay, the next one's this line down here. Can you see it? It just sticks out like a sore thumb. There it is right there. That's going to be your next one. That's approximately, we'll call it 2050. Okay, I think that's where gold is headed. Gold is headed down here to 2050. Not immediately, because this is going to exhaust itself, right? Probably bounce. All right, this is going to happen over a period of what? Let's see. Let's just take it from here to here. What kind of time frame was this? This was April of 2024, all the way to June. We'll call about that was about Add 2 months and 3 weeks. Yeah. So 11 weeks. Okay. Now this decline is faster. It's happening much faster. So if we take October, I'm sorry, trying to get this. Yeah, the week of October 21st. Okay. The 2 months would be December 21st, and really the end of the year, right? Going into like the first or second week of January. Okay, but I think this decline is going to happen faster because of the nature of the way things are going on right now. Okay, so this might happen over 6-8 weeks rather than 11 weeks. This decline that's going to happen here. So gold is probably going to come down here, do the bouncy thing, come down, do the bounce, ding, bang, bang, maybe something like this. So I don't know yet, but I'm going to say somewhere out in the middle of 2025, maybe the summer of 2025, it could even be late 2025. I think we'll see gold way down here around 2050. I think it's going to easily get back to this 2350 area pretty quick. And then I think it's going to visit down here at 2050. So gold's going to get slammed. And I like gold for a short side trade. Okay, but this is long term. Okay, if you go back to the daily chart, I wouldn't short it right now. Okay, it's a little bit risky to short it right now. I wait for this cycle low to get done. It's going to do the bouncy bounce thing. This is probably going to bounce. This is going negative big time. Look at this. You're not going to stop this negativity. It ain't going to stop it. I'm telling you right now, this thing is huge, like a waterfall. It's going to go negative. Okay, so we're going to get a bounce in here probably. And when this thing's done doing its bounce, maybe it goes halfway up and fails. Maybe it goes all the way up and fails. Doesn't matter. As long as this momentum stays negative, short the snot of it, because I think this thing's going to be going down to like 2,200. Okay, but wait for it. And you're going to have to pick your right contracts. I like futures. If you want to do the old options thing, okay, you guys figure out your options for options traders. Gold is going to get slammed. It's going down. Let's check silver. Guess what? Silver's going to get slammed too. It's going to get slammed. And I'd also wait for this. It's probably going to track just like gold. It's going to do some bouncy thing. And after it's done doing its bouncy thing, it's going to go down. Okay? So sometime next year, I think gold's going to be easily 2250. And silver is a little bit harder. I guess we could go look at the weekly. I don't really want to get into it. I'm not going to go look at silver on the weekly chart. You do your own homework there. You saw what I did for gold. Go do the same thing. Find those natural support areas. They're going to be candlesticks that just track sideways. They're going to be there. Just look for them. Those are your natural support areas. That's what silver is going to end up doing most likely. Silver is a little bit of an industrial metal plus a hedge, so it's not quite as predictable, but it probably will follow gold. Okay. I like picking up silver. Silver's probably going to go, okay, y'all forcing me to do it. You're forcing me to do it. I can hear people crying right now, but we want a weekly chart. Come on, Giddish. Okay. There's your natural resistance point right about there. Look at it. It's just staring you in the face. About 2250. The one below that is right here. You can see the bottoms, right? Bing, bing. See it? That's 2750. Okay, guess what? We're at $30.36. Silver is going to go to 2750. Put it on your post-it, stamp it to your forehead, because that's where it's going. 2750. It may take a while to do it. Do bing bong, whatever. May not be right away, but it's going to go to 2750. And then once it gets broke below that, and it's going to break below it, it's going to go to 2250. All right, those are my opinions about gold and silver. They're going to get slapped. Okay, now, 4 or 5 years from now, okay, we're in 2024, right? 2028, 2029. Let's say, God forbid, George and Alex Soros come back with a rampage, and old man Soros is still alive. Heaven forbid, but let's say he's still kicking. And they're like, come back with revenge. And they're going to put in the most Marxist jerk off there ever was as president, right? And the United States is in deep, deep trouble because, there's some hardcore leftist is taking over because Americans can't stand Donald Trump. You know how it is. 4 years, and then all of a sudden, things change quickly. If that happens, and the leftist gets back into the White House, mark my words, that's a big if, but if a leftist gets back in the White House in 4 or 5 years from now, you can bet your bottom dollar that gold will go to 3,000. Okay? If a conservative stays in the White House, okay, whoever that may be, then gold and silver will continue to be a little bit suppressed because people are not going to hedge it as much. That is my prediction for those products. Okay, let's move on to crude oil. I'm telling you, this election has significant consequences, not just politically, but financially. And why am I mentioning that? Because crude oil is, I need to get rid of the Giddus Plus indicator. It's kind of annoying me here. Let me get rid of it. It's annoying me. It's in the wrong place. Let me try something here. I'm going to have to do a little bit of, there we go, that's better. Little massage into the chart here. Let's talk about crude oil. It's in a world of hurt. It's in a world of hurt. It can't even muster up any kind of serious bounce. It's negative territory. This is only going to get worse. Mark my words, crude oil is in for a serious decline. Okay, that's the weekly chart. I'm sorry, I got the wrong. Let's go weekly cycles. Okay, world of hurt. This is a weekly chart. It's not looking good. Okay, this thing is going to get slammed. My prediction right now, I'll say it right here, we're at $68.33. I believe that crude oil will go into the $50 range. 55, 58, 59, whatever. That's where it's headed. That's only 10 points away. It's going to do it. Is it going to do it right away? Maybe not. Maybe it gets down to 60, does a bouncy bounce, tries to get up to 80, probably not even going to do it, maybe 75, down again, going into sometime next year. Get ready for crude oil as they begin to go. You know, Donald Trump said, drill, baby, drill, right? When you hear him say that, he means crude oil. Remember, he told Robert F. Kennedy Jr., you can have the FDA and the health in the United States, but don't touch oil. Donald Trump's is gonna be handling the oil situation, and that means drill, baby, drill. So get ready for crude oil prices to come down. Get ready for gasoline prices to come down. It's going to happen. Crude oil is probably going to go into the $50 range. I think long term crude oil is a short because of that, and I think it's going to make people a lot of money if they know how to short appropriately. Okay, use futures, use options, whatever you need to do. Okay, immediate future back here to the daily chart. Looks like we're going to get a bounce. It might do a little more decline going into late November, a little bouncy bounce. I'd wait for it. Let's see how it bounces. Does it stay negative here? Okay, and then when it declines, okay, especially if it does one of these deals, or just kind of gets up there a little bit and touches it and then comes down. All right, short the snot of it over in this cycle if things are negative. Okay. Crude oil, going to go into the $50 range, guys. It is going to happen. All right, let's move on to, let's see, what do I need to look at here? Did I look at all the currency? I look at the currencies. Okay, I guess I covered all that. I guess we're doing corn. Corn. Got positive momentum, but negative trend. In the SMI, don't touch it. Wait for it to get past this November 25th cycle. Do not touch corn. Okay, if corn stays positive, you go long coming out here. Okay, but right now, do not short this. It's too strong momentum-wise to short it. I don't like an idea of shorting, and I certainly don't like long right where it's at. It's a don't touch product at the moment, the way I feel about corn. Okay, like I'm missing a product here, but I guess I covered everything. XLP. XLP. We didn't look at gasoline, so before I finish, I'll look at gasoline. XLP, trying to go positive here. Trying. A little bit of green here. Momentum is still negative. It's trying to get something going here. We'll have to watch this. If momentum gets positive, that changes the story. I don't like it long. There's a good chance it gets up here and fails down into this cycle low. Yeah. I'd be looking for this to roll over. When it rolls over, as long as this is still negative over here, I'd short it. But right now, I wouldn't touch it. Okay, one last look. We're going to look at gasoline. Yeah. Looks very much like crude oil, doesn't it? There's your gasoline. Gasoline. Yeah, expect gasoline prices to go down to like $2 or lower. Yeah, I know this says $1.96, but that's just the futures. That's not the prices at the gas pump, right? You can look that up and why is this $1.96 and the gasoline prices at the gas pump different than this? You can go look that up and read why. All right, but gasoline's probably going to go to $2 or lower. I don't have daily cycles set up on this because it tracks very much like crude oil most of the time. But I predict gasoline prices will follow crude oil, and they will decline significantly in the next year or two. And I think gasoline across the United States, at least in the conservative states, Texas, along the South, is going to be below $2, or at least $2 or less. Yep, that's it. Become a member. Remember at the beginning of this video, I showed you the hourly cycles for gold and how good they are. Hope you enjoyed this video. Become a member for $7.99. The link is in the description. Talk to you all real soon again next time.